Hi, I'm White Chip Frank, and I'm a real bad alcoholic drug addict. But I've been clean and sober for 32 years, thanks to the fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, and Cocaine Anonymous. There may be others we are all so mesmerized by our drug of choice, but we are really one big fellowship. I attend all three meetings. Anonymity is very important. That's why I'm wearing this silly mask. Our fellowship is often mistakenly called a 12-step program, but it's not a program at all. It's simply a fellowship of people who share the struggle to stay clean and sober together. We can do together what we could not do alone. There's a lot of misinformation, so I published a couple books on Amazon, Addicts Anonymous and How Do You Don't. They explain who we are, where we come from, and what we do. They're addressed to the suffering alcoholics and drug addicts. You are not alone. We discovered that, although we were powerless to help ourselves, we could help each other to stay clean and sober. We have been relieved of the obsession with our pretty poison. It all began in 1935 when a drunk at New York's Towns Hospital for Alcoholism and Drug Addiction found he could stay sober by helping other drunks stay sober. After he was discharged, he kept meeting and working with other alcohol addicts. That was the world's first therapeutic community, as far as I can tell, except for maybe some ancient leper colonies. In 1939, the first 100 or so published the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, and a movement was born. It was the beginning of all those support groups we hear about today. Narcotics Anonymous came along in 1953, and Cocaine Anonymous came along in 1982. Meetings are the key. You don't need any money. Yes, we have the 12 steps, but we also have the 12 traditions, like our 7th tradition. Each group should be self-supporting, declining outside contribution. In other words, we don't ask for charity. We don't need to. We're sober. Besides, our fellowship doesn't run on money. It runs on action. We also have our 3 fundamental principles of honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. Plus, there are 100 other tips, tricks, and techniques that make up our unique culture of recovery. It's all in my books, Addicts Anonymous and How Do You Don't. They each contain the drill, a list of 5 things that each of us does to stay clean and sober. If you do these 5 simple actions, you can stay clean and sober for the rest of your life. It works, it really does. They both basically contain the same information. As an ebook or a paperback, I suggest you put Addicts Anonymous on your phone, and you can carry the discreetly titled How Do You Don't as a paperback. Probably no one will know what you're up to. Now for the families, friends, and loved ones. We addicts frequently complain they don't understand. Of course they don't understand. They would have to be one of us to understand, and you wouldn't wish that on them, would you? Nobody deserves the life of an alcoholic or drug addict. Addiction has been called a family disease. I get it. My 3 brothers drank themselves to death. It's in my family. It's heartbreaking. That's where Al-Anon and Narcanon come from. But we understand. We can identify. We are a fellowship based on identification. Finally, a word to professionals, the clinicians and researchers, academics. A member of my home group tells the following story. He went to see his counselor, who says he's an addiction specialist. He tells him that he drinks at work. The counselor jumped out of his chair and asked incredulously, "You drink at work?" The point is that Addicts Anonymous and How Do You Don't should be of interest to anyone looking for insight into addiction and recovery. And we have open meetings for anyone curious about us. Well, thanks for your time. Hope to see you at a meeting.